Hello everyone, it's been a year since my last video about Godzilla Fest, and I've come back to give you an updated guide to prepare those who are attending this year. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Captain Glasses of Bad Productions. I am a cosplayer, collector, and constant attendee of conventions. Godzilla Fest is one of my top favorite conventions, hence why I upload a lot of content about this event. As a refresher, GFest is an annual gathering of fans and enthusiasts that celebrates all things Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, King Kong, Pacific Rim, and everything tokusatsu. It's being held at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois in the middle of July since the last 2 years. Previous events in the last 2 decades had it at the smaller Crown Plaza Hotel, but more space was needed for vendors, guests, activities, and growing attendees. Since we are almost a week away, I want to make sure that new visitors have all the essential items they need to maximize their first GFest pilgrimage. If you're in the Illinois area and want to check out the con, badges are still available online and in person at the registration area on the ground floor next to the main panel room and dealer's hall. Badges per day go from $30 to $50 depending on the day, and between $50 to $75 for the entire weekend. On-site registration is limited, so ordering online is helpful for new attendees. They don't send you badges over the mail, so it's up to you to secure badges at registration the day of or before the con during roll call hours. I will share a link to the schedule in the description below. If you already bought your badge, secured a hotel reservation, and got all the things necessary for your travel itinerary, then you are good to go. If you still need a hotel room or transportation for those out of state, there are cheaper options from hotels in the surrounding area but will require a free shuttle, taxi, or Uber/Lyft if you need to get there and back, unless if you're okay with spending over $200 per night at any of the on-site hotels. Oof. If you can't make it to GFest due to timing, money, and location, do not fret. I will make a separate video about kaiju-themed events in the US outside of GFest that have happened or will happen within the foreseeable future. But the main topic of this video is about a few things that are essential to your ideal GFest experience. While this video caters to new attendees, veteran attendees and newcomers to the channel can chime in, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Feel free to skip to specific chapters in the time frame below. It's safe to say that a majority of GFest attendees spend most of their time at the vendors hall, aka Kaiju World and Kaiju Island. It's full of all the merch a kaiju fan can ask for: toys, t-shirts, comics, DVDs, and other knickknacks that you haven't seen before. As overwhelming as it is, I advise that you don't spend all of your money in one place. My first tip is to have a list of items you want for your haul and to print out a map with highlighted booths that you want to visit first. Kaiju World gets very crowded on the first day, so it's essential that you know where to go and what specific characters you want to add to your collection. Write notes on paper, phone, computer, or on the page behind your printed map so that you can check off places you visited and successfully procured items. Learning the landscape will save you so much time to explore everything throughout the entire weekend. Tip number 2. Cash, cards, and compromise. Remember when I said don't spend all your money in one place in the last section? GFest, Kaiju Island, and Kaiju World can be notorious for overcharging their stock of toys for the unassuming attendee. While I enjoy being able to get a highly coveted figure on site and online, it is not worth losing a big portion of your budget. My video for last year's tips said that people can survive off of $200 to $1,000. This year, I recommend between $300 to $400 as the minimum. Younger attendees may want Monster Arts, Hiya Toys, X Plus, and other stylized Sofubi figures than the standard movie monster series to take back home with them. To minimize spendings and maximize your haul, I recommend jotting down vendors that provide retail prices if not lower on figures or are willing to barter with you on a transaction. I'll provide a link to the vendors that will table this year and let you be the judge of where to go afterwards. I also recommend dividing your costs per day. Not only will it stop you from making risky purchases and drain the entire budget in the first hour, but it also forces you to consider food expenses, transportation fees, and time to recuperate funds. Some vendors will take credit cards, PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle, but cash will be universally accepted at a place like GFest. Personally, I bring around $500 to $700 for Movie Monster Series, Monster Arts, high-grade gachapon, autographs, DVDs, and still have enough for food, paying my portion of the hotel room, and other activities after the con. Speaking of food, while the surrounding hotels offer food options, there are food courts and restaurants within long walking and driving distance that have cheaper alternatives. I personally don't do hotel food unless I'm desperate and need something after places close or are busy with other orders. But please, set up and divide funds when necessary. There are ATMs to help you in a pinch, but they run out almost immediately, so withdraw cash a day or two beforehand. When it comes to compromise, you can barter with some of the vendors. Just make sure you ask them, when they have time, about the lowest they could go on a certain item, or start small, like deducting $10 or $5 off a figure. The worst they can say is no. Simply thank them, respect their time, and move on to the next figure or stall. Tip number 3. Comfort for you and others. Conventions can be an exhaustive experience. Lots of walking and crowding in cramped spaces full of fans of all ages. No one wants blisters on their feet, aching joints, or getting sick during the con. Bring comfortable walking shoes if you're traveling from a nearby hotel or to the fashion outlet mall for the food court. Bring clothes in conjunction to the weather. The summer heat in Chicago fluctuates between high 60s to low 90s, so plan your fashion accordingly. If you're in cosplay, more power to you. This goes without saying, but convention attendees should at least take a shower around the 2 of the 3 days during the event. Conventions have overwhelming crowds, and we don't want to be sandwiched between unpleasant body odor. Shower, wash your hair, put on deodorant, the whole works. Fellow attendees, special guests, and the convention will benefit from this tip. Tip number 4. Be respectful. I've seen some recent content revolving around the toxicity in the Godzilla fandom, and I do not tolerate hatred of any kind on this channel or in real life. The Godzilla community should be a welcoming, compassionate, and fun place for everyone, regardless of race or gender. Godzilla is a worldwide phenomenon that's political, environmental, thought-provoking, goofy, dark, serious, and many other qualities that have enough room for new and old fans to enjoy. There's enough bad going on in the world, and the Godzilla fandom is the last place I want to see that's plagued with problems. GFest happens once every year, and is an awesome place to meet new friends, meet them in person, find figures you're looking for, and discover new movies and games. People from all over the world come here for the same reasons you do. I enjoy meeting people and having conversations about our favorite designs and movies without resorting to violent disagreements and conflict. I may not be a big kaiju influencer or content creator, but I want to give out a good example for fans of the Godzilla community. So be respectful to one another, whether it's a special guest, a content creator, or a random fan you bumped into. Tip number 5. Have fun. I know, I'm repeating the last tip from my last video, but it's a pretty good tip. No one goes to GFest to have a bad time. This place was my first convention that got me more involved in the Godzilla community. Without it, I wouldn't be going around looking for Godzilla toys or making Godzilla Fest content. It's an instrumental part of my identity, and I want others to enjoy their first time. There will be scruples and issues, but that should not define the entire trip. You're there to celebrate the most famous and influential movie monster with others that love it as much as you do. So go buy the figures you always wanted. Cheer on during movie screenings. Say hello to your favorite content creator or special guest. Make a friend or two at the vendor's hall or arcade room, and create memories that will last a lifetime. I hope these tips came in handy for your last-minute itinerary before heading out to GFest. I will be attending all 3 days in cosplay. Feel free to say hello and hang out for a bit. If you have any additional questions, feel free to comment down below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible amidst GFest preparations. Follow me on my Instagram, The Obscure Brother, or on Bad Productions for more GFest content. I do thank you for stopping by my Road to GFest series with my GFest survival guide tips, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. This is Captain Glasses, signing off.